to whole class discussion, okay? I think it was pretty even between the video and the reading. So now it's kind of your own personal opinion. Do you think Congress should raise the minimum wage? And then why or why not, okay? So you guys have two cards, all right, on your desk. All right, one is green and one is, I call it red, but it's pink, okay? So if you agree with what's being said, okay, hold up the green, okay? If you disagree, hold up the red, okay? Remember that we have to be like courteous of each other. Let's not interrupt each other, call each other names, okay? 1% at a time so we can make sure that everybody gets like heard, okay? All right, so Scott's gonna start us off. Scott, what do you think? Should we increase the minimum wage? Why or why not, okay?
I believe that we shouldn't increase the minimum wage. It's harder for young people to enter the job market and that. And if they do enter, they're acquiring new skills to get jobs later on.
Okay, and you said should not.
Should not.
Should not. Okay, I just want to make sure I understood. Okay, looks like there's lots of agreement in there. All right, somebody else?
I think along with that, a lot of the people who are at the minimum wage right now are people that are young and don't have much experience, and so even though they're at the minimum wage now, they have to work their way up the ladder to get more pay.
Okay, so you're saying, like when we look at those graphs, like the bulk of the statistics are saying that it's younger people. All right.
I think it kind of devalues the dollar because like it doesn't mean anything for me to like starting wage in the pack is $15.55 an hour. Like that's great for a high school student, but if federal minimum wage is $15 an hour, like okay, I'm making 55 cents more than like it means nothing. It just I don't know. It means nothing to make $15 an hour. Everyone's making $15 an hour. I think it just causes inflation and devalues the dollar.
Do you think your example is typical of most high school students?
No, it's not. But
Okay.
I mean,
We don't
the federal
make
it's just I kind of goes there. Like the federal minimum wage, if everyone's making $15. $15 isn't worth anything. Like $15.
Okay, you think it's going to raise the cost of everything else?
It raises the cost of everything else, and it just it devalues the dollar and causes inflation.
Okay, Cassidy, and then Taylor.
I feel like each state has its own economy, so raising the federal one won't, because Wyoming's is what, 5 something?
5.15, I think.
So raising the federal minimum wage, or
Well, we have to abide by the federal minimum wage. Okay, so the minimum wage in Wyoming is $7.25 because the federal is 5.
but a lot of like
Well, the state
businesses
is-
don't have to pay that because of all these different things. So why should we even raise the federal minimum wage?
Okay, what are the exceptions?
Like if you get any tips or I don't know, I just read it.
Yes, tips. Yeah, those types of works. Okay, Taylor.
On the opposite side,
Okay, thank you. I was hoping to have somebody
I
else
think
disagree.
I agree with everything that's been said.
Okay.
But I also think that the big problem lies not with like high school students making minimum wage. That's, I mean, yeah, maybe minimum wage. But the problem is with those people who are supporting families. There's adults that are working for minimum wage, and it's increasing poverty, or at least it's not improving things for poverty.
Okay.
And I also think that if they were to raise it, they should at least not raise it so much, because it's such a big jump from 7.25 all the way to 10, and that's going to cause such a big
Yeah,
ruckus. It'd be a lot easier to just move or something like that.
Okay, good. Asia's had her hand up, then I'm coming over to you, River. Okay.
Like just to add on to Taylor's point, like the house, like the cost of living has gone up so much, and especially in places with like cities and that. So those minority groups and people living off of minimum wage, it's kind of hard for them to be able to afford all of this. And so they get drove down into poverty, and once they're down there, then they can't really go any further. That's how we have all these people of unemployment who don't want to find a job because it's just so hard for them. And
Could you afford to live in our community on minimum wage? No, probably not, right? Okay, River, right? So next. Okay.
So I was like Taylor was saying, like you can't really like as an adult like live off minimum wage, and even if you have a family, you especially can't. But they also, by the time you're an adult, you should have built up some skills. So like you should have marketable skills that you can get paid more than minimum wage for. And if you don't, that's not the nation's fault. That's your own fault.
Okay. All right. Josh?
Wait, didn't the video say that when New Jersey raised their minimum wage, the demand and employment went up? So wouldn't that say it's good?
Yeah, in that example, it said it was, right? That it actually benefited everybody. Why do you think employment, how would you correlate those two things? Or why do you think by raising the minimum wage then that improved the economy?
Oh, it was like with the video, like before he doubled the wages of the workers, and so it was an incentive, because they were getting paid more, we should take their
Good.
jobs more seriously.
Improve their discretionary income. Katie, sorry I cut you off there.
So like, I'm like not for increasing the minimum wage, but like when you look at like the families that are like trying to survive on minimum wage, it's not like, sometimes it's not for lack of skills. It's not like they're just sitting around collecting disability checks. Like they go out and they try to like get jobs and provide for their children, but when people don't want to hire them because the minimum wage has been increased, that makes it hard for them to live and provide for their family.
So your fear is that it would create unemployment if we raised the minimum wage. Okay, Dylan?
In the awesome article I read, it says that like 70% of people that work minimum wage jobs, or they can't find a job and need higher minimum wage, haven't been looking for a job for a month. So they just sit around for a month. They've been looking for a job. I also think this line, this graph's pretty crazy, where it shows like the percent of like ages of people that work minimum wage. Like it's by far mostly kids our age, you know. And I'm sure it's like 2024, still kids, it's just slowly going down because people typically grow up and get different jobs, but there's people that can't, and even people like 65 years of age still working. But it's only 5%, you know, people that are, at least the older people that actually have families, like, you know, 20 to 40, you know, it's like 5%. It's not that many people, it's only like 500,000 people have minimum wage jobs or something like that in the article, which is, or 16 million, this doesn't seem like that many. So 5% of 16 million is like a city.
Okay, a smaller percentage.
Yeah.
What type of people received minimum wage work? Unskilled labor. Okay, Abby, you have your hand up, sorry.
Also, Katie, not the people that are trying to actually work, but the people that don't really care or aren't motivated to get a job, this wage, I would think would be up next wage. My job is probably not going to help people there.
Okay, Marissa.
We also have to think about the fact that most of the older people that are getting minimum wage are people that can't get other jobs, especially because it's minorities that some of them don't speak English. So a lot of people are like, oh, you don't speak English, you probably can't have this job because we need someone that speaks English. Or like different minorities that just can't.
That have just moved here, right? Like there's a lot of people that immigrate here that have high skills, but for some reason they may not have the qualifications to get into the labor market with the skills that they had from their home country. So I think, yeah, to generalize and say everyone is unskilled, I don't know that that's necessarily true. Shelby, and then we'll go this way. Right?
Just to add to what the article said, it was talking about how small businesses would have to like cut back their workers and stuff, and that would affect like our county a lot because we have a lot of small businesses.
Right. Yeah, because what might they expect to do instead of hiring a new worker? Work the people they have a little bit harder, right? So that's an important point. Okay. River, right?
Yeah. So just another thing, like what I've seen with my dad is, because he has had like a struggle to like find like help for a while, but now he's good. But like he would like put out job ads, and people would contact him and be like, "Oh, Pinedale, Wyoming, that would be an awesome place to live." And they'd be like, "What job would I be doing?" And they'd be like, he says, "You'd be a plumber," and they were like, "Oh, never mind." So also like, I've seen that especially, just you have to be willing to take any job if you don't want a minimum wage job. They're like, I would rather be flipping burgers for $7 an hour than working as a plumber for 20.
Okay, good point. Okay. Oh, Brittany? You're agreeing. Brady, did you want to say? You lost it. Okay? All right. What are your thoughts?
Along with like what Shelby said, like employers like cut down employees, like along with all the advancements in technology that are happening now. Like McDonald's have those kiosks now, like all the time, like that would like if you raise minimum wage, employers would be technology.
That is a good point, right? Like if you even just go, 100 miles south of us, like you'll see instead of having so many orchards, they have those kiosks there. Okay, Dylan.
So raising the minimum wage makes things more expensive. I was like reading this thing and it said that like, Subway had the $5 footlong and then they would raise minimum wage and Subway workers would get paid more, and now the footlong is like $7. It happened at the exact same time, not a coincidence. So things just going to cost more. So the more money these people are making is just going to go towards the same stuff, but it just costs more. So everything just moves up a little bit.
Shelby?
To go on the River side, it will just get worse. Like people right now, like they'd rather flip burgers. If you move it to $15 an hour, like way more people are going to be likely to like want to do that. than to go work another job that's like harder for, and like it'd be hard for her to raise his wages.
Okay, April?
Well, and kind of with like what Abby, I think, was saying, like if those people aren't willing to go get jobs, and River kind of said this too, like it's not really the nation's job to like babysit them. So if like people like who call River's dad are like, oh, I don't want to be a plumber, like that it gets to a certain point where it's like it's not our problem to take care of you. Because you have to be willing to take care of yourself.
Matthew, I saw you agreed with that. Why?
Because it's like, if I had to have 10 years of job experience and get paid $20 and I could get the same wage for just flipping burgers, why would I get 10 years experience?
Okay, but what do you think would happen to the wage? If they raise minimum wage, then what do you think is going to happen to skilled work?
Video, like I said, that it would raise.
And I think you guys are all bringing up really good points, but I'm going to kind of argue devil's advocate a little bit on the other side. I mean, I do think there are people who work really hard and they work for minimum wage and they do not provide enough to even get by for their families. And so if they're not providing enough, what are they relying on?
Food stamps, government supplements.
Okay, government subsidies. Okay, so Katie?
Well, like off of what you were saying, like there are families who are, like the article said, working 100+ hours a week.
Right.
Like most people here work like 40, and they're like, wow, I'm so tired, I have to work. And then there are people who go to their homes and they like don't have heat because they can't pay their heating bills and blah 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 because they're trying to support like a family of even 4 just with minimum wage.
Right, and it's almost like you guys all agreed, it would be almost impossible in our community to support somebody on minimum wage. So how do we support those groups that are working hard, they are showing up to work every day, they're trying to get skills, but for various reasons, things in their control and maybe not in their control, how do we make sure that they're being supported as well? And is it the government's job? I mean, that's the other question.
I think the food basket is a great example of that because it's local.
So you're saying community charity?
Yeah, it's local. So if they know if someone is just like not working hard or slacking off or like not even trying to like provide for their family, and they also know like whether like someone is working hard and like I don't know, it needs to be local.
Okay. Okay. Yes, Cassidy?
We should have a federal one, but focus more on state.
Okay.
Because each state has a different economy.
That's just what I was going to bring up. So the words out of my mouth. Okay, so you think each state should... Right, and especially if you look at communities like New York City, it's very expensive. Is there a lot of probably minimum wage work in our community? I don't know that there probably is, because you couldn't get by, really. What about... Go ahead.
A lot of people that do work minimum wage here also have other jobs.
The other question is, or other argument that's been brought is, okay, high schoolers, we can all agree, like if they're working for minimum wage, it's just kind of spending money, maybe that's not such a problem. Should you do a minimum wage law, like based on like age, like if you're of a certain age, then you should get
That would be
like
stupid.
this?
Be like, so we're doing the same job, but you're 80 and you're doing it worse than me and you get paid more?
But then your argument for keeping the minimum wage low is that it's
Just get
only
rid of
high
it.
schoolers.
Just get rid of it. That'd be
Okay,
totally
let me go Taylor real quick and then we'll go back.
Okay, but maybe you can base it on like whether you're a student.
Okay.
Because there are things that do like student discounts and stuff like that because they know that like if you're a college student, you're probably like not pushing like minimum wage.
Yes.
The colleges help the towns, these businesses, right?
Yeah, so you could base it off of like whether you're a student or whether you have a family of 4, kind of like the FAFSA, like information that you have this kind of situations.
But going back to what Dylan said, it's like, so we have this 30-year-old that has a family but sucks at their job but doesn't suck bad enough to get fired, and they're getting paid more than this like 25-year-old that's in college but is really good at their job.
Well, it also has to be based off of skill, though. It should be based off of minimum wage should be based off of like age, but at the same time, at each person's job, it should be based off of their skill. Because most jobs, if you're working somewhere, most people that are more skilled or have been there longer get more money than have a good.
Good. Lenora, real quick, Lenora. She has some.
Well, I think it all starts with education, and I think that's where we should probably focus more than like trying to regulate wages and things like that. I think it all begins in the school place where we learn how to get these skills.